The preseason grading period has come to a close for the 49ers 2021 draft picks. There were a few nice improvements this week, along with a few who took a step back. Let's take a look at how the rookies performed against the Raiders on Sunday. Trey Lance. His grade is a C, after back-to-back weeks of B- in the first two. Against the Raiders, Lance completed less than half of his pass attempts for the second time in 3 preseason games. Lance's final line over the 3 games was 19 of 41, with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Kyle Shanahan gave Lance opportunities to win the job, but the rookie couldn't capitalize. Playing with the starters, there were missed receivers resulting in completions, sacks, and interceptions. As the game would move on and the backup defenders entered, Lance's performance would pick up. One thing that stood out against the Raiders was the effect that Lance had on the defense in the running game. His running ability forces defenses to keep an eye on him, and the slight hesitation this creates is all that it takes for Raheem Mostert or Trey Sermon to get past the defense. If Kyle Shanahan decides that he wants to commit to running the ball about 35 times per game, having Lance be the starting quarterback makes sense. The 49ers' offensive line is built to run over opponents, and keeping the ball on the ground will keep the clock moving. In addition, the San Francisco defense looks like it should be dominant, and this would appear to be a winning formula. Aaron Banks, for the second week in a row he didn't play. His lone grade this preseason was a C from week 1. That shoulder injury that he suffered against Kansas City has kept him out, and he hasn't been able to return yet. Running back Trey Sermon, he gets a B this week after getting a C+ after week 1 against the Chiefs. Sermon returned to action after being held out against the Chargers, gaining 37 yards on 7 attempts. Firmly entrenched as the backup to Raheem Mostert, Sermon has been able to take the adjustments recommended by the coaching staff to counter the increased speed of the game at the NFL level, and looks solid with a number of tough runs on Sunday. Ambry Thomas, he gets a grade of D after having a B and a C for week 1 and 2. Thomas has been all over the board during training camp in the preseason. Last week, he gave up a deep pass down the right sideline, but showed grit on the next play by coming up to make a nice stop on a running play to his side. Thomas wasn't particularly bad in coverage against the Raiders, although he could, do a little bit better job of closing the gap on receivers and not giving them so much air off the line of scrimmage. The main reason for the low grade with Thomas was his complete whiff on an attempted tackle of Raiders tight end Nick Bowers that resulted in a Las Vegas touchdown instead of just a short completion. Tackle Jalen Moore. He graded out with a B- after grades of C and B for the first 2 weeks. After starting the first 2 preseason games at left tackle, Moore should be the third tight end, the third off the bench behind Trent Williams and Sean Coleman. Moore and Coleman have been competing for the swing tackle position, and it appeared that the reason for the move was twofold. Moore had missed time during the week due to injury, and the coaching staff wanted to give Coleman a look at the left side after having him play primarily on the right during the first 2 games. Moore followed up his strong performance against the Chargers with another one against Las Vegas. He once again did a good job in the run game, but his grade dropped slightly due to allowing a pressure on one of his 15 pass blocking snaps. Diamado Lenore, he graded out a C after having a B and a B+ in weeks 1 and 2. Lenore gave up a 27-yard completion on a deep throw down the right sideline when he failed to turn his head or get a hand up. Other than that, one misstep, which is what lowered his grade, Lenore had a solid game and appears to be the better of the 2 rookie cornerbacks. Lenore, will be the backup to K'Waun Williams, it looks like, at nickel corner. Veteran B.W. Webb had held that position until he was released earlier this week. Lenore stepped into the role and played well from the inside. Talanoa Hufanga. He earned a B grade, and he's been in that range throughout. After starting at strong safety last week against the Chargers, Hufanga made the move back to free safety with the return of Jaquiski Tartt to the lineup. Hufanga's versatility makes him a perfect fit for the 49ers defense. Hufanga would record only 1 tackle against the Raiders, but he would also force quarterback Nathan Peterman to throw the ball out of bounds on the blitz. And last but not least is Elijah Mitchell. He hadn't played yet this preseason, but this will be his lone grade, and he gets a C. Mitchell made his preseason debut against the Raiders, gaining 24 yards on 6 carries with a number of strong finishes. In addition to his rushing, Mitchell made the tackle on the opening kickoff of the game and later showed off his return skills, totaling 60 yards on 2 kickoff returns with a long of 45 yards. Having Mitchell return kicks may allow the 49ers some flexibility with the decision that they need to make for the 6th wide receiver. The grade for Mitchell gets knocked down just a bit, though, due to him taking the wrong route on a couple of running plays, which resulted in big losses for the offense. This could somewhat be expected after missing 2 weeks of practice due to an abductor strain, but it definitely needs to be cleaned up moving forward.